Hello, everyone. It is the second member stream. This is kind of exciting. Second. Yes. Yes. So this is kind of a monthly thing. So if you're a member, you can come into the live stream on YouTube, or if you're on Locals, find the link over there. But yeah, Ruben, I just noticed you're wearing a wedding band.
Oh, it's my Aura ring. I use
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, I use that for for monitoring my heart rate and everything. I want to get off of it. That's the whole point of me getting on this healthy kick I'm at, is to get my health back in order and just not wear these devices anymore.
I just kind of like knowing that I'm working hard. So that's at least why I wear my watch.
Yeah. And the thing is, yesterday I fell down.
Oh no! You okay?
Well, it's fine. It happens again. If I felt about to slip, I just ragdoll it and just like fall down naturally, and nothing happens. I bounce a little bit,
That's good.
So because when I was younger, I would put my hands out and I would scratch the hand. So I just said, no, just fall back. You're fine.
Yeah, don't outreach your hand. That's how a lot of fractures happen for people who tend to fall a lot.
Yeah, and not growing up, but living in Chicago my adult life, I slipped and fell constantly once a year at least, so I knew how to fall right away.
Oh, good. Falling on your tushy is probably the best.
Yeah, because the first time I fell, and it wasn't even snow, I twisted and fractured my ankle.
Oh no!
So yeah,
breaking an ankle sucks. It really does. Well, any bone for that matter. But yeah. Anyway, so how are you guys all doing?
I'm fantastic. Just saying,
Doing okay.
Doing okay.
Well, grandpa stuff with him going to hospice. My parents gained COVID, and right now we're not going up there in case we don't want to infect the nursing home he's in. So.
Oh yeah. Ugh, that's always the worst, when you are so close yet so far, and you just don't want to hurt other people.
Yep.
Something as simple as that.
And I work nights, so right now it's just after me getting off, and I'm ready to sleep.
Oh no!
Stick around here.
Well, thank you for joining, Jim. I'm going on nights tonight, so
Oh no.
Yeah, which is also why I woke up early. I'm gonna try to nap around 1 to 2. We'll see if that works. But Brian's asking, Jim, are you in Canada?
No. I'm in Texas, Tejas.
Ah, hi, baby.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, the kitty.
By the way, I found the best way to do it is fast for about 16 hours. It helps you flip easier.
Before the nights?
Yeah. So if you don't eat for 16 hours, your body kind of readjusts itself pretty well.
Interesting. Because you do a lot of nights, right? If I remember.
Yes. I've been doing nights for about a decade now. I did days for about a year last year, but yeah.
Nights are nice.
Nights are nice. A lot less mess.
Well, I'm going to try that. Maybe not today, because I've already fasted 11 hours.
Oh, jeez.
I don't plan to fast another right until my night. Although it'd be good 24-hour fast, I suppose.
Well, I'm just letting you know it's pretty good if you're going to be on there for it. Sometimes I do it. I kind of tweak my schedule after I get off for the week to be on days and then not eat for 16 hours while I'm wanting to go back to nights on Tuesday now.
Okay, you know what? Maybe I will try it. I don't feel hungry. I'm going to try it.
And that's if you don't have blood sugar issues, because I know my grandpa and my dad have hypoglycemia.
Oh, I don't have that right now.
That's good. That's good.
Right now.
They've always had it, so it's kind of one of those deals where you just have to be careful because your blood sugar runs low instead of high.
Well, hopefully my body has kicked into its ketosis and using my fat. Eat my fat.
Is there coffee allowed on when you're doing this or no?
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not drinking coffee this morning because I want to sleep. for
Yeah,
the
yeah, of course.
afternoon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So-
If you have it later, then you know.
I'm gonna dose myself, and then when I wake up, I'll have a good breakfast, and then, yeah, hopefully that works out. And how are you, Holocron?
I'm fine. My day has already begun. It's 3 p.m. now. And my pizza just came.
Just began.
Yeah, I'm having dinner right now.
Okay.
It's like pizza came early. I planned it 4.5 an hour in, maybe. But they were quick today.
That's like an
Are
early
you
dinner.
are you in northern Germany?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, the accent. I don't know. It picked up like
You
Hamburg.
can place it that well.
Hamburg.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, Ruben.
well, I love classical music, and I love Hamburg is one of the places I do want to eventually going to go to. And you know, I've studied it all my entire life. I want to learn German, but I want to learn it the right. I don't want to because like people say that you've learned it more of like the High German, the way like if you were going to go to study at Oxford to do it. But I want to basically do a more, you know, a more regional German in a way. I don't know. Again, I want to honor that because I really love Germany per se.
Oh. And you picked up the taste for the Northern German dialects? Or?
Yeah. Well, that because again, it's all about music. It's all because I'm a musician. I play the horn, not French horn. It's not the French horn. It's a horn. Because my horn was made in Meitzel. It was a special horn. So it's only 2 of it made in the world.
Oh my goodness, that's cool.
Yeah, $23,000 for an instrument.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, again,
That better,
I'm a classically trained musician. I studied, so I play music. So that's
Oh
one
my
thing I do.
Technically,
lots of
so
bits
much.
for
I
things.
just wasn't that good.
Hey, it's Mark.
Hi,
Mark.
Mark.
Hello.
Mark just literally woke up and was like, "Hi, I'm here."
Hey,
Well, I mean, to Xray
morning.
Girl's credit, the first thing I felt when I woke up this morning was a boobie. I think
Oh
she
my
saw my
God.
hand
Why do
outstretched
you have
like
to
that.
tell
She got out
people
of the
that?
shower and then, well, because
It's a
it's a
perfect
nice
world.
thing that you do, honey. And I think
perfect
people should know
world.
what a wonderful wife you are.
Aw.
And she did
Every-
just to be funny,
deserves-
like, because I was like
No,
half awake, and then like all of a sudden I just feel like what is unmistakably a boob, like my wife's boob. This isn't like a dirty story, really. It's a
No,
nice
it's not a
story
dirty
between
story.
husband and wife. Hey, husband, like, honey, I'm your husband. I gotta give your members some of the dirt.
No. There's no
Horrible.
dirt here because again, I've
I
seen
know,
you
and
guys.
it's not dirt. Like that's what I mean. Like it's a vaguely
You guys do
sexy
gaming
story,
on
but it
Twitch
is like
together,
I
it's
think
so
it's a
adorable,
nice
so
wife thing
just
to
let you
do.
know.
Wives, if you're out there listening, put a boob in your husband's hand. He'll appreciate
Oh
it.
my God.
I mean, if he's
Hello.
sleeping, you know, like if he's not seeing it coming. If he is seeing it coming, I mean, then you're just having sexy times, which is also important. But you know, it's a different thing. It's better when you. It's like, wait, what's going
Mark
on?
kisses
What's
and
happening?
tell. Can you tell? Can you tell? I'm like,
Well, I think you can tell too because remember the Twitter. You actually posted a picture of your boob online. So
Yeah, that's true.
oh well, that was
you
not.
you
You know.
outed yourself.
It was my autograph, but your boob.
Oh my God.
I'm so much more like blown out here. Like I'm very white than I am like when I
You
like,
are
my
white.
Same camera in Streamlabs though. I mean same settings, and I don't understand it. Or maybe it's because I changed some of the settings in
It's gotta
Streamlabs.
be a lighting thing.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing. I have this lighting set perfectly for at least for during the streams where I'm on this couch. My lighting was like set perfectly so that while I'm playing games, I never go out of focus or have my face become totally blacked out, but it still like retain my skin color and stuff. But here
It's okay, Mark, to do the Trudeau.
oh, you know what I think it might be? I think it's just because on my other computer I just
What?
have my desktop
The
open. I'm just
Trudeau?
gonna open
The
Steam.
he said
there we
blacked
go.
out?
Yeah, see.
Oh, okay. I got it.
And now I made it too dark because I lowered it one f-stop. That is the term for a unit of lighting in film.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, remember.
Mark bringing the knowledge.
Okay.
Brian McCann asks Mark, do you prefer X-ray on day shifts or night shifts? I already know the answer.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how your shift went and what you're doing in your off time. Like, honestly, I kind of prefer when she's just like doing YouTube stuff because that's when she's in her best mood.
No, it's true. This week,
Like
you're so nice
Mark.
this week.
yeah.
Come on, say the real answer, Mark.
No, that
Read-
in
read-
all
read-
honesty,
read-
that's the
read-
real
no,
answer.
Read,
It's like,
read the answer again. Read the question.
or
again.
read the question again.
What
Do
does
you
it say?
prefer X-ray on day shifts or night shifts?
Where do you
Well-
prefer? Where do you prefer her on?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's talking to about when she's working at the hospital, but I'm
you
saying
can
that,
do
like,
it.
honestly, it doesn't really matter. Like, if she doesn't get a good sleep or work too hard in her off time between the shifts, it doesn't matter if it's a day shift or a night shift. She's going to be an equal level of grumpy. That's what I'm saying. I was like, that's less of a factor than you'd think it probably should be. Like, I mean, I guess, I've worked shift work before too, like as a paramedic, like EMT, I think is what you guys call them. And the hardest things were when you were doing switch shifts. So when you would do, like, there were some services where it was like 3 days shifts, a turnaround day, 3 night shifts, and then you're off for a few days. And those I thought were the worst. Whereas the second service that I was working for, I was just on straight nights. And honestly, that was way more comfortable. So I think different people react to shift work in different ways. But with X-Ray Girl, it's the other factors that matter. Like, was it a tough day at work? Did she get a good sleep? Is she doing a ton of like intense work for like Gary and her own stuff in the off time? And how is she eating? How's her nutrition? Because those are the factors I find. Not so much is she on days. Or
That's like everyone.
Well, I mean, I'm. Yeah,
But
I mean,
not a
you're
morning
human.
person.
Like,
But you're not a morning person.
I'm an all-time person usually.
Okay.
Okay, fine, Mark. Tell them. What am I?
She midday she is much more pleasant than in the morning, and at night she's just sleepy. Jojo.
Okay, I will say early morning, unpleasant. Morning, fine.
Well,
Daytime,
again, like
fine.
your sleep factors into it. Hold on, I'm gonna mute I'm gonna handle puppies for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, like, realistically, as long as I get enough sleep, I'm usually good. And when I'm not working in real life, as doing my X-ray stuff, I get consistent sleep. Although last week I didn't get consistent sleep because I don't know, when you go on keto, it's like you feel like this burst of energy, but then you're also tired at the same time mentally because your body's like figuring itself out. Because Ruben, are you doing keto? Or
I'm actually doing more like protein, more like Atkins
carnivore?
type of way. Yeah, carnivore way. But it's good. But I gotta step it up a notch more. But I'm basically monitoring with the doctor. He says it's okay. And again, just trying to avoid all sugar. Get it out of your system. I'm drinking a lot of tea and anything high antioxidants that you need.
Yeah.
And then just keep putting that into your body. Plenty of water. And I'm still pushing myself, even though I have my myasthenia. I'm still pushing myself. And if I feel I need a rest, I rest. I just stop.
Your doctor, is he kind of like? So I used to watch My 600-Pound Life. Is he like Doctor Now? If you've watched it.
No.
No, is he nicer? Because now Doctor
He's
Now
not.
is so mean.
The guy with that yells at the mother.
Yes.
No.
Thank goodness.
No, he's basically he said to me, when were you diagnosed? Because I brought him all my medical files, everything I've been through, and he says you're still and you're not taking any of the medication. No, I'm not, because they want to put me on pyristigmine, on Mestodon, which are muscle relaxers, and they actually lower my immune system because I have an overactive immune system. That's why I don't get colds, I don't get sick. So, but again, what's happening is my body's attacking me because I think it's everything out there. Everything's toxic, and I got something that's fucked me up, or whatever. But again, I'm really glad that I have all my teeth. I've never had a cavity in my lifetime ever.
Oh, you're so lucky.
All 32 teeth, and I've only been to the dentist twice.
What are you doing to your mouth?
People love teeth talk.
What do I do with my mouth?
Yeah, that you're not getting cavities.
Well, I don't like candy. I love meat. I eat meat. That's my thing. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted like science. So I wanted to know what the astronauts ate. So I love steak and eggs. So it's always steak and eggs, steak and eggs. I have to have this. But then I got, taller and bigger and whatever. So I went to science and stuff, and then that
Yeah.
got me into computers and stuff, and music.
I think you're too tall to be an astronaut. For
Yeah, I'm way too
sure.
tall. That's the other thing too. I had to be under 6, and I'm way too tall.
Man,
But I said,
Oh
okay,
Man, I
I'll
could have made it.
I'll work, and that's why I switched to when I knew I was going to be really tall. I switched to studying like the Mars mission, the 76, the Viking, and all that stuff. I love that stuff, and then the space shuttle, all that stuff. So I kept in line with that. So and I'm doing that now with my technology stuff.
Speaking of like what you wanted to be as a kid, that's really cool to know that you want to be an astronaut. What about the rest of the panel? What did you guys want to be when you were a kid?
Jedi.
Wow. Okay.
An astronaut probably too, but I also got too tall.
Oh, how tall are you?
6'4".
Oh,
Oh,
my
shit.
God. Wait, is that taller than you, Ruben?
Yeah, a little taller than me. Just a
Oh
little
my
taller.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again,
Dang.
it's like, hey, again, it's like I love walking in and saying, hello, my people. You're all tiny, whatever. Oh, me like talking to Jay is normal. He's big too, but yeah, I love Jay.
Oh yeah, he's huge.
I'm only 6.
Pardon?
I'm only 6 feet.
Only 6 feet.
It's not
Okay.
only,
Y'all are
more
taller
everybody
than
else.
Mark and I. It's all good.
And I also got the astronomy part. I didn't particularly want. I didn't want to be an astronaut. As I already lived in Star Trek and Star Wars, and I wanted to, of course, fly on a spaceship. But that's not what I saw. The rockets they were shooting up as.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of the probably like the highest level of jobs you could do. Not only do you have to be smart, but you have to be physically active and be able to withstand, like, when you watch those videos of people going into space and the amount of like torture your body goes through.
G-force.
Ooh, no, thank you. I took a ride. So we have a theme park in Toronto area called Wonderland. The ride's called Drop Zone, so it brings you up ever so slowly to the top and then goes down really quickly. I puked after that.
Oh, really? You puked from Drop Zone?
Yeah, my
I've never
stomach felt like
puked
it
on a
was in
ride.
my throat.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately,
mean, yeah, like
here in
you get that. You definitely get that stomach feeling, like the feeling of your gastrointestinal system kind of elevating up into your chest for a moment. But yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I could understand vomiting from it.
Yeah, I knew I would never be an astronaut, but I wanted to be a librarian / teacher. That was what I wanted to be. It was realistic, I guess, for me. But then I don't.
I think
groups of
I'm gonna
children.
guess you realize how little money you would be making in those jobs.
Well, a teacher you can make quite
Yeah, I mean that's true.
if you can get a
Librarian,
job.
You're not doing much if you want to make it a career.
Well, my mom got a job as a teacher in at private school when I was real young, and she was the director of technology too in there, which she was the only person doing technology, but she was making like 70 to 80 grand. So
Wow.
That's really good. I
yeah,
think that's like an above average salary for a teacher.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
like way above.
But that's American dollars, not Canadian dollars. Just kidding.
Let's
Yeah,
just see
well-
how much
Oh,
that
wait,
is.
is it
I don't
American?
even know.
yes.
Just kidding.
Oh, then
Just
that's a
kidding.
lot. Like, honey,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
that,
that's
for us.
six
That's like
figures.
$120,000 a year.
Dang. Okay. Well,
but,
good for your mom.
What's funny is she was kind of hired because it came with my dad helping out because of his
Oh.
pure background and whatnot, and he helped with their database stuff and everything whenever
That's
they
really
had
cool.
to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do kind of admire, because with my wife, when I met her, she was an executive assistant and she was studying nursing, and then she saw that, hey, what do you do? Like we're dating and stuff. Well, I work in technology, and now and then I started my own business. And as soon as I started my business and the money was coming in, hey, I want to do this too. So she stopped nursing, and she got her bachelor's and master's in technology.
Oh.
And it was so nice that she graduated in 2003 with her master's. and I was so proud. And she used it, used it up until she passed away. But she used her degree.
That's
she
good. You know how rare that is to be able to use your degree when you work.
Yeah.
Like especially like when people say I'm going for English or history, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, good luck to getting your job, and if you get that job, good for you, because those degrees are like maybe less than 5% can get a job in that field.
Yeah, and I pushed her. I pushed her in the sense that I said, hey, I pushed her by example. I said, here's what I'm doing. Here's how I work. And again, both of you know, because again, with military background and with medical background, you have to. There is forms, there are processes, there are procedures, there's things you have to follow, and then go. However, bureaucratic they can be. There's a reason for those things to happen, because you cover your ass, you protect everybody, and you do that stuff. So that's how it works. And that's the one thing we have to get back to in what we're doing. And we're doing it now with the fellowship, with the meetups. We get together, we meet, we plan, we get things done. We're doing it. So I'm really glad, we're all doing it here.
Which, speaking of the fellowship, I find that like one of the most exciting things is that feeling of belonging, like-minded, open-minded. I think that's the other big thing that I really enjoy about this, because if I never found this group, so to speak, I would probably be living in my normie world, kind of noticing things but not knowing why.
But then here's the one thing, because again, you have a good perspective. You're the normie. I've seen how your progression over the last 2 years. And how you no, it's a good progression. But the thing is that here's the one thing: nobody, and I can tell you this. I'm telling you, I'm answering it. No one's ever judged you for not knowing something. They can laugh at it, but people are always saying, "Here, try this, try this, try this." They want you to learn more, right? That no one's ever, and again, no one's ever really bad talked your opinion on anything either. We can play with around. We're a welcoming group. That's the whole idea,
Yeah. And I love it when people are like, "You're a fake geek girl." I'm like, I never claimed to be a geek girl.
You can't be faking something that you haven't claimed to be.
This is why I don't talk a lot, because I'm like, especially on FNT, that and the competition to be heard, but it's just like they talk about these people. I'm like, who are they? I don't know. There's a bunch of Bobs. J.J. Abrams, when they said Jar Jar, I'm like, is this like Jar Jar Binks's English name? I have no idea.
What?
But
that's good. I like it. That's good.
I think it's was it Gary's way of making fun of him. I don't know the correlation there with
yeah. So I didn't know that.
I think it's as simple as JJ. What does JJ stand for in JJ Abrams? What if it stands for Jar Jar?
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, catching up with the lingo was a little tough at the beginning.
Gotcha. But yeah, it does get a little flaky with a lot of different names and whatnot. And was it I forgot Michael J. Fox on something that he did ages ago on Family Ties as Alex on there as a conservative with two parents that were liberals in that show. But I totally forgot about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was the breakout part. When I saw something about it yesterday.
I remember that show.
It's stuff like that where you're like, oh, I forgot all about that stuff about this person.
Well, there's so many people to know. And I mean, not just only entertainment stuff. We're talking about political stuff. And I mean, American politics. Back in even 10 years ago, I met these people, American people from Amsterdam while I was there. And even then they said American politics, you don't talk about that with family because it's caused arguments. So learning about this new field, new people, and how it works, because we don't talk about right and left wing in Canada.
But it's weird because it's not as black and white in Canada because we have more than two political parties, but at the same time there's two that win primarily, so I don't know, it's not that different in a lot of ways.
Not really. We have the Green Party that nobody wins in the bigger
we have one of those too.
I have voted for them, and mostly because I've used the Green Party in Canada as a spoiled ballot, basically. I'm just
yeah. The Green
Yeah.
Party.
I don't want to vote for anyone here, so I'm gonna go vote for the Green Party. Just be like, yeah, whatever.
Is it like green? Like they're very for green?
No,
like,
it's
as well?
environmental stuff.
Environmental.
No, it wasn't a weed party.
So we are both.
Yeah, it was more of conservatorship of environment, like Teddy Roosevelt's deal.
Okay.
Mm.
But
And that stuff is important, and
I
that's
wonder-
it's honestly the biggest benefit that hunters give to the environment, because
Right.
environmental conservation, like culling, is actually a pretty important aspect of
Yeah.
that. And I think
right.
a lot of save the
Oh my
animal
gosh.
people don't really realize that it's like, well, but if people don't hunt at all, then predator populations increase, or things like deer population increases and eat all the resources in the area, and then it becomes uninhabitable for deer. So it's like, well,
Yeah.
you could kill a few deer and then
You
save
have to have
all
a
the deer.
balance.
Well,
You know?
It's like them not knowing about fire ants, how they
Mhm.
intruded in the southern border, destroying the red ants and the black ants, and the
Invasive species.
was it called, the
Species
horny
race war.
toads that used
An
to
ant
be
race war.
everywhere in Texas is no more, really, because all the red ants they used to eat no longer exist. So there's
Yeah, and you in Texas, you guys have been having some issues with hogs too, like wild hogs.
Mhm.
yes,
And
and
it's,
Oh.
it's like you can hunt as many of them as you want because there's just way too many.
Oh my gosh.
there's way too many vultures too down here. And
Okay.
what's it
Could
called?
use some ham. Mm.
Really? Oh wait, I heard
oh,
vultures
and-
and ham. Whoops. Never
And,
mind.
and we almost have a issue with crazy ants. That's also something.
Crazy ants?
Yeah. So
I feel like JoJo wouldn't like those.
they do weirdness, and they like to get into electronics and destroy them.
Oh, that's the worst. Oh, we don't like those
Uh-huh.
here then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, go
but
away
they're
from me.
creeping up like they did with the fire ants from South America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's
Yep.
actually a whole entire American problem, not just in Texas.
correct, but we are the first line.
Oh.
that
There's one in Germany as well. It's mainly
Really?
Berlin, I believe. They have yes, where wild hogs will go really into the city. Really,
Cause havoc.
There's companies in Texas that let you like, go up in helicopters and then hunt wild hogs with machine guns.
What?
I'm not even kidding. Like that's.
Oh my
What?
god.
I think
That's
it's
not
I
smart.
think
Did
it's
you do
quite
that?
quite expensive, but
Okay.
like it's
Yes.
legal to do because it's like no, like they run in big packs and there's way too many of them that to the point that a lot of the ecosystem in Texas
So
is
True.
not
What-
not like in danger, like imminent danger, but it's like it's having a major effect. So
what I'm
the
hearing is we
Texas
shouldn't eat
Games
bugs.
Commission is just like, yeah, go. Or like a
Yeah.
Fish and Game Commission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild
Go.
hogs.
We should eat wild hogs more than bugs because it's a population problem.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's why people in Texas have no patience for the bug stuff. They're like, what do you mean? Let's just have ribs.
yeah.
No.
And also we love us brisket. That's one of our
Ooh, I cannot wait to go to Texas and eat all the good barbecue food. Ooh.
So what's really bad is my dad got a smoker and he got brisket patties for hamburgers. After having that, all other burgers are crap.
Oh, I want to try that. Oh, I can't wait. What I know, Gary said that at some point he needs his comic books alphabetized. So I just gotta find time. It'll either be after Vegas or after like maybe Dallas Con
Gotcha.
that I head down. So who knows? Who knows? Because that would be a fun trip, not only to do that, because that sounds exciting for me. Not gonna lie.
Vegas
But-
will be finalized this week. It was like April
The
something.
dates
April.
he said, yeah, because he has to check with everyone, like the venue, the group, and whoever else. Because I'm hoping we'll have like a fun guest as well, kind of like how Drew came down for the live podcast or live live stream for FNT, but I was looking at prices of going down to Vegas. They're so cheap right now. Canadian dollars. With the budget airlines, I think it's 1,200 Canadian for Mark and I. That's cheap.
I don't
That's
think
good.
that's cheap to them, honey. Like American flights are
Well, that's the budget
incredibly
airlines.
inexpensive.
Let's see, but that's 600
No,
bucks.
but I
each.
mean, like in America, you can fly to Vegas for like 30
That's
bucks.
also
No,
hotel
it's
stay too.
probably about
Oh.
200 from
I think you should
Fort
specify. You said
Dallas.
flights.
What did you say, Holocron?
I'm muted. I'm eating.
Oh wait, was that Jim then? Sorry.
Yeah, I said it was like about 230, probably 250 from Dallas, Fort Worth.
To
But-
Vegas.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so with the hotel stay and the flights, it's like $450 US, which is freaking amazing. And that's I think 5 days.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Wait, is this a thing? Killer bees in Florida?
Yes.
Those the
But the same ones that were released back in the 60s. back-
murder hornets?
Yeah. Well, no, that's something different too.
Oh, okay.
They're all coming to kill us.
I really don't want that.
Well,
Yeah.
they can try. It's not going to succeed. Yeah, that's
Well,
what I
it's
say.
not like they're funnel web spiders like they are in Australia.
Oh God, don't even. Australia is like I don't want to go to Australia. It's too scary.
Everything is there to kill you. Everything. Even
Yes.
there's very few poisonous fish, and they're on the coast of Australia.
Then you get punched out by a kangaroo.
Yeah, from the ants to the kangaroos, you're not safe.
Yep.
Also dangerous.
But you were saying about the degrees earlier. So guess what? My degree was in. Am a minor.
Okay. Your major was probably. Wait, what do you do for work? Can you give me a hint?
I'm in IT work.
Okay.
Let me get that
So
down.
your degree major was chemistry and your minor was Greek mythology. I don't know.
Nope. My major was film, and my minor
Oh.
was in photography.
I was very off.
Yeah. Well,
Mark was that too. He majored in film.
gotcha.
I did. I have a film degree from York University, the university that gave us Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh, Jesus. No, but the thing is that
She's a little
Creatives.
younger than I am, so if I had stayed at York and taken the right feminism class at the right time, I could have been like, this bitch doesn't know anything about video games.
And are you an '84 baby?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Like me. I remember Xray said that one time. I'm like, he's the same age as me. That's weird.
This is my last year in which I will be in my 30s from beginning to end of the year, because next calendar year is the big 4-0.
Yeah, we're gonna have a house party. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh boy.
We're not house
Yeah,
party
but it's gonna
partiers.
end at like 6 p.m. because we're old.
Yes, honestly. Well, maybe 11.
Like
No, I wanna go
maybe
to bed
more
at-
like an afternoon barbecue.
40 is not old. Come on. I'm
I
going
know
to be
it's not old.
55 in March, and I don't consider that old.
I'm
My
playing a
grandmother is old.
Spider-Man
She's
video
dead.
game as I'm speaking to you guys right now. I know that I'm not like an old man, but at the same time, yeah, you know, it's time keeps ticking.
Yes, you feel it. Yes.
Yes.
But keep your heart, young.
Youthful mind over
The thing I'm
matter.
worried about most right now is my brain.
Yeah, Mark is definitely smarter than me. He remembers a lot of things more than me.
Now you got to keep playing the games. That's when people don't really realize this. Playing a game keeps your synapses going. You keep your muscle memory going, your brain, your eye coordination. It's good for you. I don't know. I don't really play that often. You know, maybe I should play more.
Okay, how do you guys
Jojo.
feel about this, Jim and Mark, especially because you were in film school, watching The Godfather and being told how great a movie it is?
I love The Godfather. In fact, people always used to tell me that I look a lot like young Al Pacino. I mean, maybe more so back like when I was, in film school in my like early 20s. But yeah, no, The Godfather is a fantastic.
I'll add that to the
it
list.
is it's slow, but the payoffs really start coming at the end, and then Godfather 2 is incredible as well.
Better
yeah.
than one?
It's hard to say. It's it's a different kind of movie because it's almost like two movies in one. It's Robert De Niro playing the character that oh god, oh, man, how am I forgetting?
Brando.
Oh, Marlon
Brando.
Brando. Yeah, Marlon
Yep.
Brando's Vito Corleone character is it's like the young version of him in Italy coming over to New York and then establishing the Corleone family, as well as a story that takes place after the first Godfather with Al Pacino now being the Godfather, dealing with this thing happening in Cuba and this sort of rival Jewish gangster guy, and some betrayals happen. It's really good. It's but yeah, Godfather 3, it's okay. It's not as bad as people say, but it's definitely not even close to the same tier as the first two.
Correct.
For-
But
But
again,
you should watch
but again,
Goodfellas.
it is a good movie.
Yeah, I would say Goodfellas or Casino is a better mobster movie than.
Yeah, well, also because they're just standalone. Like it's just the
Right.
one. They don't. Neither of them become a franchise. It's just like Scorsese likes doing his one-offs, and I think he's quite good at it.
And also, I like Casino because the cinematographer that also did Kill Bill.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah, I
cool, cool.
haven't
And-
watched Casino. Kill Bill is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Aliens is my number one, and Kill Bill is my number two. I kind of view them as
Gotcha. I really liked Alien. Did you say Alien or Aliens?
Aliens, Cameron Aliens.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I love Ridley Scott's Alien as well, but I think I'm more of a Cameron guy stylistically.
Gotcha.
But
Well-
at the same time, yeah, you know, it's one thing that I think was kind of cool about Alien and Aliens is they sort of in a way are formulaically the same movie. It's just the
Right.
scope is so much different, and like just the amount of characters, the amount of enemies, the
Right.
resources that the heroes have. I just think it amped everything up really well, and I thought that Newt being a foil for Ripley and having the whole motivation of her original daughter having died of old age was pretty incredible.
Right.
And Kill Bill, also a movie motivated where the strong female protagonist who like isn't horrible is motivated by her mother's instincts and
Don't tell J Lo about that.
No, she actually starred in that movie. I don't know if you know.
Gotcha.
She's gonna try to create a Kill Rocky movie.
Yeah.
But
Speaking
JoJo.
of, guys, Mark and I have been watching American Horror Story. Have you guys watched that?
I actually have not.
Okay.
But real quick on Aliens.
Oh, yes. Finish that.
On the was it the daughter getting old? Doesn't that kind of negate the whole situation in that Alien game that y'all that I know you and Garrett were playing, the Isolation?
Oh, negate what part?
Isolation isn't canon and like was written probably about 30 years after Aliens came out. So
Right.
it was just they wanted to make a fun survival horror game that's basically Alien, but one where it's not like, hey, why is the last 10 minutes of Alien like 20 hours long all of a sudden? So they're like, hey, where's a way we can write it so that they're on the same ship, and or like they're doing on a similar ship, looking at similar things, and we can have the androids as enemies as well too.
Yeah.
But video games in general, most video games based on movies, unless it's explicitly stated, you always got to kind of think of it as it's kind of its own little universe that's
Right.
inspired by the movie or the book or whatever, really. But like, yeah, it's never going to be perfectly canon, including The Witcher. Like you cannot call The Witcher 3 definitively canon with like the Sapkowski Witcher books, simply by virtue of the fact that there's multiple endings. So, which one's the real one? So, but I mean, that's kind of the good thing about the video game medium. It's you can kind of do that. Be like every viewing of a video game is a little bit different for everyone, as long as it's got
Right.
any interactivity to it.
Right. I was just laughing because I was watching Garrett play it during one of his deals. And I'm like, when he started it up, I was just like, wait, her kid she died because of old age. What? I was so confused by it when I was watching it. I was just like,
Did he finish it already?
Yes, he did like an 8-hour stream, I think, and he said he finished it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, it took me forever to finish that game, but I was only playing it like 1 to 2 hours per time.
Here's a great example of Alien and that video game movie canon thing. The DLC for Aliens Colonial Marines that features Hicks asserts that Hicks got out of his cryopod and there was like like pirates or something on the drop pod, and he kills one of them that happens to have a similar bandage that he's wearing at the end of Aliens, who then falls in his pod, and that's who is found in Alien 3. And that's why Hicks is alive. And it's like, wait, what? that is extraordinarily convient.
Yes.
So like you gotta kind of just
I know. I was just surprised. It was kind of a surprise deal. Kind of like, what? But it's all good. I was just laughing at that. And also, I like Alien because of how some of the scenes you don't realize look great for 1979.
Oh yeah, special effects in Alien are incredible. And like Geiger's art direction is famously some of the best in any movie ever.
Like the giant ship, just scope of it was just enormous. I mean, to me it was better on that visual scale than something like Citizen Kane on their enormity in that mansion that you had. Something better than that, but yeah.
I just love the practical effects.
Yeah. Well, they did horrible with the suit. Terrible with the suit. I'm glad they didn't show much of the alien.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad they went the Spielberg route with Jaws of not showing the deal. But Jaws was good because the shark kept breaking and they had to figure a way around it.
You haven't seen Jaws?
I assume she hasn't seen anything. That's my assumption.
That's it. I'm done. Goodbye.
Sometimes it still surprises me. Like, I don't know, Jaws,
just assume it's the
well, I guess
Jim
if you haven't seen Back
Carpenter.
to the Future, I guess that makes a bit of sense. That's around the same tier.
I mean, it's kind of too scary for a kid to watch as well.
No, it's not. It's the movie that parents show
That's
kids so that they're
scary.
scared to just swim off in the ocean if they're at the beach together.
You know, I
It's
actually
like, hey,
have
guess
a
what?
fear
Stay close to shore.
of dying in the water, drowning, or being eaten.
I'll tell you the truth, Mark. When I was in the theater, and I was in the theater for all these great movies from the 70s to the 90s. I was in the seats, so anything you saw, anything that you know, I was there. I was there for Jaws, and as soon as the first note of music came out, I ran out screaming to the theater.
In it. Oh no!
That was it. I said, that's it. The note started. The music
Scared you
started.
that much?
Because again, for me, the music was the gateway.
You're wired that way. You're just like, oh my god, that was a half step. No, we're not doing this. The whole melody is just half steps, guys. This is going to be a movie where bad things happen.
Exactly. I just said, would imagine it was like 9 or whatever, running out of the.
What key is this even in? It's just 2 notes. Right next.
I know.
No, but I admit it because that's why when I watch a movie, like one of the greatest movie, at least for me, because it's a soundtrack thing, is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That's the movie for me because of the music. And that one touched me really. I see that. I watch it periodically, and it's really, really touching. That's a very emotional movie to me. But that's the thing that captures the motion. It lets you feel something that's beyond. And now nothing feels like nothing. You know. It's crazy.
What's funny is Metropolis with the 1980s music is the one for me.
Wait. Not the original music?
No, they have one with the 1980s music. random pop songs and whatnot from the 80s onto it.
Is that
Sacrilege.
Did it actually
It-
release that way, or is that
No,
just-
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
on
no,
YouTube.
no,
No,
don't.
they re-released it like in the 80s that way or something. It was crazy.
But like in theaters,
did.
or like
shit.
was this just a bootleg cut thing that someone
No,
made on video that
I-
kind of went viral and
I
indie
watched
teenagers
it.
way?
I watched it in 2003 in one of my film classes.
Hmm.
Oh.
So,
I've definitely seen Metropolis in a film class, because if you've never taken a film class before, it's almost impossible to not
Right.
end up seeing Metropolis. But,
well, it's almost impossible not to see East of Eden, the original one.
yeah.
Ugh.
Did you see
That
the
one-
Criterion version, Mark, of that?
Sorry?
Of Trouble? Have you seen the Criterion version, the restored version?
I have not. No.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I honestly haven't watched Metropolis since film school.
Oh my god. They redid the Kino, the Lieber, Lober. They redid it. The music, everything was updated.
Oh, neat.
All the-
We'll check it out sometime.
Yeah.
But there was another musical deal, and then I forgot what I was going to say that also I really enjoy. It'll come back to me sometime, probably tomorrow.
I feel like I should add Metropolis into my list.
Well, that one has a lot of music. That one you would just be muted on us.
The entire time? Okay, so it's just a personal viewing.
Yeah. You need to get, you might want to see if, I know that like Gary has a website. You might want to see if you can just get like a part of a website where you can just get a list of movies and we can vote up and down on it.
I mean, my list
Flip
is
that.
pretty
Flip that.
You could
extensive.
probably just look at the IMDb top 100. Like, as much as it's not the best metric, it is one
Yeah.
that, as if you're looking for popularity, it's a good one. And I'm willing to bet she's seen 30% of it. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give her 30 out of 100.
Through top
Oh,
100?
IMDb. Oh my god. no,
And
no,
I don't even know what's on there. I'm just gonna say that like my
But-
my estimation based on movies I've recommended to her or like said, hey, have you seen this? And she said no. Versus some like, I mean, some movies she has seen. It's not like she didn't watch any movies when she was growing up at all.
Mhm. They're
But
just mostly
yeah,
Disney.
it's
Aw.
like 3 out of 10 though. Like for every 10 movies I talk about, she's seen 3 of them.
Okay,
Got it.
so Shawshank Redemption.
I
That
haven't
one's
seen that on
oh,
TNT.
Not seen
I'm
that.
gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. She's seen Shawshank Redemption.
No.
No? Oh, no, okay.
Godfather, no.
If you have a TV, it's turned on. Eventually,
you
it's
not
gonna
seeing
pop up.
Godfather makes sense. Shawshank Redemption, though, that's one of those movies that because it's like so famous for being like an inspiring story, a lot of people have seen it. Whereas Godfather, like, if you're not into mafia stuff, I could see someone suggesting The Godfather, and you just being like, nah, I'm not.
We got Dark Knight. I watched that. We got one.
Yeah, I would have said yes to Dark Knight as well.
Yeah. Look, I've seen this. Lord of the Rings. Godfather, no. Oh, Schindler's List. I've wanted to watch that, but I don't want to cry. I feel like it's going to be very rough.
Yeah.
Just it's a rite of passage we all have to take. Shit.
Yeah.
I almost think she should go Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers first.
Oh, I
Because Band of
haven't watched that
Brothers,
either.
the Band of Brothers episode, Why We Fight, I honestly think it's like as sad as Schindler's List and about similar subject matter. But
Yeah.
that
also-
gets me every time. I can't not cry when I watch Why We Fight. It's
And-
it's so sad.
And if you've watched Friends, don't be surprised if you see David Schwimmer. Is that his name?
Schwimmer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. He's good in it too. He plays a totally different type of character. I remember seeing it the first time I watched it. I was like, Jesus, Ross is like kind of an asshole.
Oh,
Well,
I can't
he
imagine
was-
him not goofy.
No, he's not at all goofy. I mean,
No.
okay. He's definitely not funny.
No. He always seemed like an asshole in Friends too, so it's kind of like, eh.
I mean, but it's a different kind of asshole. Like on
He's
Friends,
like
he's an
a,
asshole. He's like, hey, I'm like, he's like a pompous, smart guy. Whereas in Band of Brothers, he's, well, I mean, I don't want to give away because when you get the reveal about him, it
Okay.
is like,
Well, I wouldn't consider him a pompous a-hole. I would think he's kind of, he doesn't think about other people. It's more like a selfish.
Well, I mean,
Kinda-
it's that he's the intellectual though, and I think that the reason a lot of people don't like Ross is he does kind of come off that like he's smarter than
Know-it-all.
everyone else, or that he thinks he's smarter than everybody else there.
Pretentious.
Pretentious. That's what I was thinking. Okay, there we go. 12 Angry Men.
That's
not seen that. Is it good?
Oh, really? Yeah, it's great. It's one
Beautifully
of the best
shot.
movies ever made.
Similar
It all takes place in one room. It's literally
Wow.
12 people arguing, and it's one of the most compelling movies ever made.
I'm put that on my list.
Henry, man, God,
Yeah.
great role.
That's one of the greats.
Sidley Lumet, anything that he does, God, it's great movies.
Nice. Pulp Fiction. Haven't watched that.
Really? Oh yeah.
Um,
Wait, we started it, and she didn't. She fell asleep. She fell asleep. She fell asleep before Vincent and Jules got to like the place that they're going at the beginning.
Sorry, I
Wow.
fall asleep a lot.
Okay, yeah, that one's pretty good. I
Got
I
through
would
the
say
honey bunch.
I like it more than Reservoir Dogs, definitely.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. It's tough to compare those two for me. Reservoir Dogs, similar to 12 Angry Men, is kind of brilliant because it sort of functions in one location primarily. Like there are flashbacks where they go outside of the warehouse, but like Reservoir Dogs actually works as a stage play, and I think it's a very, very good script, and one that I think is much more limited in scope than Pulp Fiction. They're sort of the opposite. So, like Reservoir Dogs is very, very simple, not a lot of factors in play, but needing to do a lot with a little, which is its own kind of difficulty. Whereas Pulp Fiction is there's so much shit going on that the talent is in making it end and not have the audience think, well, that was nonsense. So
Right.
like
You know what's funny
they're
that most
opposite
normies
of
don't know that the Tarantino is a universe. Each film is connected.
Well, I mean, not all
What?
of them though, because he has
They are no, they have references.
but I mean, there are a couple universes going on, and I think
Yes,
that
yes,
he's
yes, they're
said in the past
interconnected.
that some of the movies like Kill Bill and Death Proof and the more kind of grindhousey action ones are movies that exist within the universe that Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction take place in.
Yeah, because Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction are related because of the Vega brothers.
Yeah, and he was
And-
going to make a Vega Brothers movie
Yeah.
with Michael Madsen and John
And then you
Travolta,
got
but-
Django Unchained and Pulp Fiction are also related because of the Schultz.
Really?
The Schultz, Dr. Schultz, and then you have Paula Schultz, the same lady, the lady
Huh.
where he buries her. It's Schultz, the
Interesting.
same thing. So they're all connected, and the Apple, the cigarettes are always in there. So it's all
Yeah.
these little things. But it's good. That's what I'm saying. When you have an artist like Tarantino, who's a real artist, putting this together with care, each shot is designed the way it's done. It's not done the Marvel way. It's done the filmmaker way, the old school way. You know, the one how Coppola
More
did it, how
strategic.
De Palma, yeah, purposeful.
Yeah,
to-
well, it's that's the thing that EFAP is kind of like a joke about, but there's that YouTube channel that's name is Every Frame a Painting, and that's kind of the idea that
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino and directors like that strive for. That's like
And
you
you
could
think about
pause the movie at any moment and be like, wow, I could hang that on my wall.
Exactly, and that's so far all these movies the same thing, has the same thing. Forrest Gump is really an impactful movie, I think. 94 was a special year. 94 reminded me of like 1939. 39, you had Gone with the Wind, you had Wizard of Oz, and you had all these great films that came out. All the musicals are coming out, and 94 was a great film year too. You had
Yeah.
Did
what is it?
39 also have
One of the
Water
best
on
years
Front?
for music too. That's it.
yeah. What are you saying? 39 also have?
What was War on the Front also 39?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. It's one of the ones that,
On the waterfront was 50 something, 54,
Oh,
I
okay.
believe. Yeah, it's Bernstein, and that was the music from there was Leonard Bernstein. He actually wrote the music for
Gotcha.
that one.
For some strange reason, I was getting it confused with something else. Whatever. But the only thing with me with Reservoir Dogs is sometimes it felt like half a movie to me. I'm like, there's just something missing about it that I'm like, there needs to be a little bit more to it. But that's
I don't know. I enjoy its minimalism. Like I think that it being focused on it, like it's basically honey. Because I'm gonna guess Xray Girl's not seen Reservoir Dogs.
Nope.
right.
Okay, it's
It's
Quentin
okay.
Tarantino's
It's
first
okay.
movie. It's very good. I would love to watch it with you. It's short. It's like 90 minutes long, and the premise is it takes place in a warehouse after a diamond store robbery. So it's like a heist that goes bad, and at least one of the people involved in the robbery gets shot, and he's shot in the abdomen and bleeding to death. But it's not an active bleed. It's mostly that he's dying of sepsis because they get him under control and they can't bring him to a hospital, obviously. And then the other members who are involved in the heist end up showing up at the warehouse, and you find out how they got there because they're like, yeah, the cops were like already there the second the alarm went off. Like this was set up. One of us is a mole. So it's all these kind of scary, dangerous guys trying to figure out which one of them is the cop, and it's kind of a mystery, and it's really good. I really like Reservoir Dogs.
Trying to find the mole. I love when you play games like that, like tabletop games. Those are like one of my favorite. Mental. But I'm actually finding this interesting. So, Lord of the Rings has taken the top 13 best trilogy. Interesting. Which I've watched this as well.
I'm one of the few people that I'm not really big on the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really? I enjoyed them a lot.
I just couldn't get into it. I just don't know why. But like at the second one I went to in the theater, watched it and fell asleep in the middle of it.
Oh no.
Oh my.
And I'm just like, and I was always just like, okay, all this, like I appreciate it. And I actually think a lot more of it, but I kind of had the opinion that Clerks 2 had of it. It's just them throwing a ring in the pit.
Getting to that point.
But but seeing it as, I'm a Christian, and seeing the ring as sin kind of makes it a lot nicer way of understanding it, but and appreciating it more. But to me, it's just like, okay, I just never got into the minutia. I guess I don't know why. I like other fantasy stuff, but not that one for some strange reason.
Holocron, I like your chat. Oh my goodness, it's okay.
I've done that.
This is nerds debating. It's fine. Not everyone's gonna like the same movies.
No. Hey, it's okay. I think that one of the best trilogies is Back to the Future. Because of how much now, after how much Star Wars they mucked around with. And I'm not even talking about with the prequels and postquels. I'm talking about them mucking around with the original
special editions.
Yeah. If he left it alone, I would have been more happy with them. But
oh no.
Well, I just don't like that you can't get the original cuts. And honestly, as much as I, in a lot of ways, prefer a lot of the things about the special editions, and mostly not in regards to like the actual changes made, but just things like it feels a bit more consistent, especially if you're watching like kind of a marathon with the prequels and all the rest of them. If like the space combat, the stuff they did to a lot of that stuff is more consistent with how things look in the prequels, so I understand kind of why they did it. At the same time, the practical effects did look amazing in like the originals, and right. I think that it's a crime that they're not easily viewable for people to study at the very least. Like right. If you're learning visual effects or filmmaking, I think not having an easy way to see, hey, this is what the special effects look like in 1997 when you went to see 1977 in the Star Wars when you went to the theaters. That is not something that you can easily see now, and that is disgusting, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, Star Trek is a good way to kind of see practical effects back in the day.
Correct.
in my opinion.
Even I think even the Star Treks you're watching though, honey,
It's remastered. I know there's some things that are
yeah.
changed, like the screens, but you could still kind of see past the changes, like things like the
rubber
bodies
glove,
that are dead or something like that.
or the rubber glove plant in the one that the first one you were watching.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With the
It's-
botanist, Sulu, when he was a botanist for
Yeah.
one episode, wasn't it?
I think it was. Oh my god, it's so long ago. Episode 2. Because
Yeah.
the weird thing is the titles don't match the episodes, so that's why I always put the titles, because there was release date and then, well, the first pilot with a different captain,
Right.
and then yeah, so they're numbered weird.
And I never got to see it in full, or however it was supposed to be. I've just seen
Original.
them here, there, and whatnot whenever they were on TV. But
Yeah.
I've seen the Next Generation more because that's what my parents would watch with me and my brother when we were real young when it came
Yeah.
out.
Oh my
And-
gosh, when I was younger, my dad would watch it, but I hated it because I didn't understand it. It was just like, these space people are so weird. This is boring. I want to watch cartoons.
Well, I mean, you know, that's a reasonable reaction for a kid to have to Star Trek.
Right. But the Borg kind of freaked me out, but other than that.
Yeah.
but-
Another good movie was I really was impressed by the practical effects, was the Back to the Future stuff. That was
Yes. And them being able to keep up with the details, like the Lone Pine and Twin Pine
Yes.
mall, and
like
all
the
these little things, and like the A Fistful of Dollars reference they threw in a line about it, with Biff talking about it, and Marty using it in the third one for protection, using something similar.
yeah. But it's like these little nuances. These lines aren't throwaway lines. Everything is for a reason. And I think that a lot of stuff today, it's just thrown in just cause. And I mean, that's what I'm sure all the panelists on FNT and all the people that have been guests, they notice these things. And then I think that's why entertainment's just not as good, because it's not well thought out scripts. And that's kind of the basis of where it all starts. And then past that, of course, you got your everything else.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of things to talk about, but I think, like, at least purely just the scripts just suck from the beginning, and then it's just not setting it up for, you know, good shows.
Yeah. It's probably used to pre-production was the most of the time you were spending was in pre-production of a property. At least that's what they said in film school when I was going there. It feels, with them saying it took them a week to write the script, or 2 weeks on a couple of the newer stuff.
Multiverse Madness was 3 weeks, and it
Right.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
That's a little.
And with that, as its pre-production for the script is so little, no wonder it's crap, because you're not really, and them not taking anything, especially them doing the stuff they're doing with their list of what they can and can't have in the movie or show, ruins it by
Check mark list.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because I'll bring American Horror Story now into it, because Mark and I are rewatching it, and we're watching the Roanoke one.
I had only
season
seen the
4.
first 2 prior, so everything 3, 5, and now 6 is what I've been watching. I skipped the Freak Show one just because I really wanted to get to the hotel one.
Yeah,
Lady
the
Gaga.
hotel one. Oh my god, like there was so much, like, we'll call it woke stuff. You know, you had
it was honestly one of the wokest things you could possibly imagine, but it's like pretty well written.
but like
so
well
it's-
done woke. So we have like a girl who was a guy before a dad, and then his story about that. We have gay vampires. well, they're not called vampires. They call it a virus versus.
I mean, yeah, they're
yeah.
vampires.
And just it's built in so that
It's like
at
the
the
zombies in
end
The
when
Last of
you
Us aren't
have
zombies,
a
they can die.
resolution, it all made sense why he became a girl, and then that built on the story. It just wasn't put in just for fun or
Gotcha.
someone's personal.
Yeah, there's actual narrative payoff to it, and like the things that sort of also tie into the themes and other people's stories that have nothing to do with the trans character. And I think the big thing that a lot of Hollywood productions are missing that this seemed to nail: cast a really good actor to play the
Oh,
trans
yeah, he was
person.
fantastic.
And it makes
Oof.
it a lot easier to kind of like to empathize with them, because just you see the look in it, like the actor is male, so I'm saying his, I'm referring to the actor, not the character. But
Right.
it's his, like the look in his eyes when he's explaining things just kind of make you be like, yeah,
I believe you.
that's real sadness right there. Like
Mhm.
you clearly care about this person, even if
Yeah.
it's like, well, there's, because basically the female character or the trans woman character that he's playing is in a relationship with a younger, much more attractive man, and it kind of like feels weird at first because you're like, okay, I feel like they probably wouldn't be getting together, and then like you see them with each other, and like you get through the scenes and the performances, and by the end of the show you're like, oh man, like yeah, what they had was really beautiful, wasn't it? You're like, wait, how did I get here? You're like, I think it's
A
it's the
trans
actor's
gay
performance.
relationship that you're like,
really,
I love
he's
this.
really good at, with the look in his eyes, kind of selling that he legitimately loves the dude that he was with, and you know, you like the character, so you feel sorry for him.
Hmm. Or if like a character is black, like there was a reason because of the setting. They're in the South. This is Roanoke, and you know there's like underlying racism there for their
like,
time there and how they interact with all the people of the town.
and I think another one of the key things is that the Roanoke one, it takes place in North Carolina in effectively modern day, but the threat are supernatural, and they're from a much less racially accepting time.
Yeah, so it all makes
Gotcha.
sense, and it's enjoyable because
Yeah, and well directed, well written, and I think honestly the biggest American Horror Story's biggest strength though is the performances, like
the actors
and the
are really
actors they
good.
get. Like I mean, it's things like Kathy Bates is in like every season of this.
Angela
almost.
Bassett.
Angela Bassett's in it all, or like
Oof.
in a bunch of it. Sarah
She's-
Paulson is really good,
So-
and they play different characters because each season is kind of its own story.
So you're saying it's kind of like woke Twilight Zone?
No, it's like if you're doing the woke subject matter, but in a way that's like, hey, it's original characters. It's not, you're not remaking something. A lot of them are, well, I mean, I guess there's some real people like Dahmer and stuff. This is also the same showrunner that did the Dahmer stuff, and there's ghosts here, so Jeffrey Dahmer pops up on American Horror Story at one point, so it kind of makes sense why he ended up doing that show later with Evan Peters, who's in every season of this show. And man, if you
So
want to
far.
know why Evan Peters is a good actor, watch
Oh my
this
god, I
show.
love him so much.
And not just watch watch multiple seasons, because it's seeing the different characters this guy plays, and like you'd figure, you know, he's your standard like sort of pretty boy movie star guy, like he'd probably playing the same thing and everything. It's like no. I think he keeps doing this show because they let him really work. They let him become different people in these seasons, and it's pretty cool.
And he's very convincing.
I just meant Twilight Zone with their variety of subject matter in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Twilight
yeah.
Zone is episodic, so it's just each episode is a different story, whereas American Horror Story is each season is.
Okay.
Yeah. And
this-
eventually, Mark hasn't gone to this. They have had little things tied to other seasons. So there's a world, and then eventually there is a season that ties almost all the stories, if not all of them, together.
Yeah, the hotel tied quite a few of them in.
Anyways, what was it, Jim? You were saying something? I interrupted.
Oh no, I was just saying that's interesting. Is it on AMC or
FX?
Might be Hulu for you
FX.
guys because it's FX. Yeah, so now that
FX.
Disney owns Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys still have FX?
I know
Really?
of FX. I don't know.
FX is like was the channel that it was airing on, and that was Fox's. Like the way Warner has the CW and HBO, like FX is Fox's HBO. Basically, it's
Right.
They're like, hey, we can have sex and like blood
Oh.
and all sorts.
Yeah,
of
because
crazy
that's
stuff
why.
on it.
Because you're right. Because I remember back in like 2003, Nip Tuck, all the shows that came out.
Yeah. Nip Tuck's
back in
the
the
same
day.
showrunner as Ryan Murphy, the same guy who did American
Correct.
Horror Story and Dahmer.
And that's where I see not woke, but more, fringe stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
done.
honestly, the things like as much as I mean, I think that it's why I think people like Jeremy in particular. Sometimes when he will talk about things like woke content, I think he needs to do a better job at specifying that, like, yeah, you can still tell stories about these people though, because
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think a lot
For
of
me-
people lose the plot. That's like, man, these people are in the world, so
That's
making
what I was
movies
saying.
about them does make sense, but just
Well-
I think the thing that pisses people off is when you're like, oh yeah, you like Batman? Well, he's trans now. Deal with it. Fuck you. And it's like, well, that's not really the best way to get people interested in your perspective, like to be like, this thing that you love, it's mine now and you can't have it back. It's like, oh, it's
So
not
what
the
would you
best way to
call it?
make
It's
friends.
not woke. And I don't know how to place it because I have the same dilemma. So I've noticed this. If you remember a show called 6 Feet Under,
Yeah, good
Yeah.
show also.
that one I never saw. I didn't like it. It was very pretentious to me in a way. And again, that's what I'm saying.
It is. I'll give you that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's it's like I'm better than, or this is the world as it really is. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying when you do it with American Horror Story, woke. It's not woke. It has woke themes, but it's not woke. Woke is basically like saying that everyone must do this. It's just telling a story with character. It's being in depth. If they did more of that, then we could empathize and understand your plight through what you're dealing with, not what we're doing to you, what you're dealing with. It's all about you. It's like, what do you want? That's why these kind of stories, Nip Tuck, the ones that are not controversial, but very risk
Edgy.
edgy.
Yeah, progressively edgy. Because it's not the same kind of edgy as like
progressively
saying the
edgy
N-word.
content. That way it pushes the envelope in regard, like Sex in the City when it first came out. And all that, but again, it's that, and again, I can appreciate. That's what I'm saying. It is a very good topic to bring this up. American Horror Story, I can appreciate what they're doing, and you explaining it to me now that it makes me want to watch it, because I would basically say I don't watch that stuff because I don't like that kind of stuff. But if it has a compelling story, and we talk about it, and that's what I'm saying, we have to engage the other side. If we know somebody who, whatever this is,
just in case for people. But yeah, you're right. It's not woke. I had to look up the definition of woke, umbrella term for individuals who are
because
engrossed.
woke is, I think, at
social
this point,
justice.
kind of become a bit of an insult as well. And I think I don't know if there's a better way to say it though to
It's
make it
diverse.
make sense. Yeah.
Then
Well,
I mean, like every the stories have been diverse forever. I think like that's one of that.
strategically,
Progressive.
so
Like socially
strategic in the
progressive?
ideology, not ideology.
Let's just say media with socially progressive themes, because I
Yeah.
think that is fair. Because
Or-
you can
or-
still be
or
you
pushing
can be
the
a
envelope.
conservative from like a political standpoint, like a fiscal conservative, saying, for example, of things that you want tax dollars spent on and stuff like that, and then still say, yeah, but I think that gay people getting married is still kind of okay. Like you should be able, if you've spent your entire life in a gay relationship with one person and you are dying, they should be able to be in the hospital room with you while you die.
exactly.
Like that's,
Right.
I think that we could most reasonable people could
Actually-
probably get on board with that.
Actually, you
Like-
can get most conservatives on board, really, if you separate it from being marriage to being a union and leaving marriage to being something that happens in a church, then, hey,
Well,
You would
I
act-
think that I think the distinction kind of turns it into a bigger argument than I think
Correct.
it needs to be, and I think that the mature thing to do as a conservative who is like at least pragmatic in a way, like being like, okay, what's actually the easiest way for us to just move on from this shit because it's actually not all that important, reasonably
Well-
speaking. It's like, okay, well, how about we make a distinction in our heads between legal marriage and marriage under God? Because marriage under God can be between you and your religion, like what you recognize and what you do not. But
Well,
legal
there's
marriage. Sorry?
There's also interchangeability that starts eroding the culture.
Yeah, but like what I mean is, cultural erosion is one of those things that you're never going to have the culture be exactly the same forever. So the way I look at it is, what, like, in raw terms, what is the best way for us to just solve this problem and move on to things that are actually significantly more important? Because, but I'll tell you this, I'm much less concerned with cultural erosion than I am with what we're going to do about like energy concerns. And maybe we should do things like figure out how nuclear energy can actually be safe enough that we can power the populations that we'll have in the future. And I think that if we spent more time on issues like that and less time about like, okay, but like why don't the trans people have rights? It's like, okay, which rights do they want? Well, justice for all the systemic oppression. It's like, okay, that wasn't an answer. Oh, what's the right? What's the right that you want? What's the thing that we can do to give you basically what you want, or find a compromise so that we can move on to things that actually matter? And that's sort of my deal. Like, I'm like,
that is the issue.
Ultimately, as much as I support gay marriage and I'm totally fine with it being called marriage, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. My biggest concern, like, ultimately, I don't plan to marry a gay person, so I don't really care for me. I just sort of was like, okay, well, this isn't super important to get hung up on, so why don't we just compromise and move on as a society? Understand that we're not all going to agree, but we can do something to just get us out of each other's hair. Like, we might not have to agree with each other, but we do have to live around each other, so we might, figure out a way to do that in a way that doesn't make us want to kill each other.
I still think you can the other way, but it's just that it really is.
You can, but the thing is, you got to realize you're asking the other side to give up. The other side of the argument that you're having, you're asking them to. You'd be like, yeah, well, this could be over if you let me win. So
it's not really let them win. It would be giving them all the same rights and everything, but separating out from marriage.
They'll always have. But I want to get married. But then I can't get married. I want to get married. But like that's the counter argument. So it's like, okay.
And here's the thing, basically, the marriage is between two people. That's it. What happened is we have to realize that
why is that the standard? Because they're breaking the standard of what it is.
No,
but like my point is that like
that's their argument, and that's what the argument that they're using in other types of relationships that they're starting to use in the map ones, that they're using the same arguments. It's breaking shit down is that where it's going where you don't want it to go.
I'm saying that like some things are going to break down though, and you're going like everyone is going to need to realize that the things that they love about the cultural milieu will change over time, and there will be things that you like that will be different, and I think that is much different than the thing that most of the kind of woke activists will say. It was like, there's gonna be a revolution and everything's gonna be different. Like once the revolution gets here, that's when it's all gonna change. It's like, I know, I think that's ridiculous as well. But also it's like, well, some things are gonna shift over time, and like some things you might not be comfortable with at first, but I think that the best way to not lose your sanity over it is be like, okay, how much does this affect me? Like really, how invested do I need to be in this, and what is the other side's demands? What do they actually want? What are they willing to compromise on, or what do I think I can get them to compromise on, and what am I willing to compromise on? But I think that a big part of the
problem is that it's not always that way. It's a lot of totalitarianism that they're trying to get you to be 50 feet away from the goalpost they set 5 minutes ago.
I know. I still think that I don't necessarily agree with the slippery slope concept being a universal, which is always a danger in all respects, because I think that you can put up a line, and I think that honestly,
how far it's gone with the change, like in 10 years, It's gone.
Yes,
so
but I
far
don't
down
think
the
we've been
rabbit
handling
hole
it
that-
well, because I think we've been at each other's throats too much. I think we've been
Then
too
that's-
reluctant to
it's
just
all part of the
compromise.
distraction.
That we've
That's
turned
the
everything
sadness.
into a war when it doesn't need to be. It all just could have been a discussion. It all could have been a reasonable thing that we all just say, hey, why don't, okay, now let's say there are plenty of people in the society who are not religious. Cool. Okay. Well, we still want them to be obeying the laws. We still want them to be functioning in society. We still want them to feel as if they can, live around us, unless because if you're making the argument that people can't exist in the country that I'm in unless they're my religion, and I'm going to assume that that's not your point. Like,
No,
I'm not ascribing.
I'm just
to
saying
but-
that it's more of we've changed a lot of definitions, and because of us making definitions and objective realities change quite a bit,
the thing is, though, words
hold
mean
up.
different things
Let
to
me-
different. Okay, but
Let me
I'm
finish.
just saying, before you get too far on the definition thing, words mean different things to different people, and at a certain point,
If
even though
that's-
every time
then
a religious
2
person might
plus
hear
2
the word,
equals 5, and there's no
but no, I'm saying 2 + 2 = 4, and can we all just agree on that?
no.
Like-
There are going to be people that will tell you no, and you
Well,
will.
the thing
and-
is, though, you have to understand that as a religious person, when you're talking to an atheist who you understand that you both need to live in the same society together. So just
Oh, I
saying, well,
know
he's
that.
wrong, I'm right, that's not in the cards. So ultimately, you have to find a way to
Here's
just.
the deal. No. A religious. It doesn't matter. Or with Christianity, it says God's
I feel
right.
like I've derailed my
Objectively.
wife's stream. Jim, I'll just take
well,
off.
Mark,
because,
let Jim speak.
Okay.
I want him to finish his thoughts.
Well, just from a Christian standpoint, God would be the objective moral reality and reality creator and everything. And from an objective reality, he's right versus everyone else in existence. And he set up certain rules and regulations. And if you're saying that we're going to accept these separations, cool, I can understand that for society, but there's certain when we start changing the objective standards of things that we've had in society for thousands of years, it starts breaking apart pretty quickly. And you're saying, let's just get along. Well, it's going to be like rhinos are in the culture right now. It's only a slow death versus a quick death.
And I disagree with that premise entirely. I do not think that our two options are slow death or quick death. I think that we can resolve things, but it will involve us all saying, okay, we're like, in order for us all, and all for the in unstoppable forces and unmovable objects that we all are, when we all clash, we are going to need to figure out a way to have that not end everything, and to have it be that we can just get along. And I think the most important aspect to that is learn to just compromise. Like, just be like, okay, we can find a middle ground, but we need to both treat each other like people. And that's both directions. I'm not saying just the conservative end towards the more like liberal or even leftist end, but the other way around. It's like we all need to just treat each other as if, hey, maybe we have wants and needs and desires and goals that might be opposing in certain ways, but are equally valid in a lot of other ways. Now, I think that we can draw the line in things like, hey, maybe we should say, hey, if you want to, I don't know, like take medications that may alter your physical state, wait until you're 18 as a hard rule. I think we can agree with that because the biology applies to all of us. So those are the things that we should probably be drawing a harder line in the sand for, where it's like what we call the civil union. I'm just like, on list of problems, that's like on page 576,000.
Yes.
And we haven't even got past page 1 yet. Like, you know,
that's
like
the
I'm
thing.
just like that. Like, I don't, that's like the word marriage being applied very specifically as like rooted in the Christian term of marriage. I'm just like, I believe that Christian marriages should be like, our marriages are not the same as your marriages. Okay. Like, you don't get married in a church because we will not allow that. I'm totally fine with that. But if it's like, well, you can't call it the word. It's like, you guys you're getting caught up on a word.
We can't do that anymore. So it's one of those deals where it's,
There's gonna be a lot of fighting over this like type of
But-
subject matter, and
I think it's
Yeah.
silly though because it's settled. Like gay marriage has been a thing for a long
and
time.
yes, I totally understand it, but like gay marriage, and I think that Brian McCann saying it's like civil unions. This is essentially what it is. I honestly think that like
And
marriage.
that's what I'm saying. With doing civil unions to separate out as government ones and do
But it is,
marriage.
but it's sad, Jim. It's all government.
It's
The reason
always
that-
government. It's for taxes.
Yeah, the reason
The argument is what should the government call it on the forum, and my point is I just
it doesn't
don't give a
matter.
shit.
It doesn't
Like,
matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It
Well,
doesn't matter to them because they're
Partner,
just
shit
getting what
doesn't
they
matter.
need.
It's
They're getting what
irrelevant.
they need.
Well, they're forcing certain churches. They're going with the laws that they've done lately. Will force gay marriage in churches to perform.
I
marriages.
disagree with
So-
that.
That's fine.
I think
I
that's
definitely
that's a better line in the sand to draw. I think. I
And-
feel like
and-
yeah, no, fuck you if you want to tell my church how to do things because that's
Well,
my religion.
There's already
Get out of
laws in there that they passed lately. That's that way. That's kind of where it's like, and that's because the rhinos caved on shit. So that's why I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's where the gill line is going.
I don't think it's because anyone caved. I think it's because people-
there are no
are just-
rhinos. That's what you have to remember. They're all the same.
True.
But here's the
that-
thing. Here's the bottom line here. This is exactly what they, and I'll say they, if you basically say the entity out there wants. Society has to grow up. It's
Mhm.
an adolescence right now.
I
It's
mean,
a
that's-
kid. We are arguing about bullshit right now. Marriage, civil union doesn't give a shit. Trans, this I don't care. Mark was correct. The other thing I wanted to do when I was a kid, I wanted to design nuclear power plants, and I'm
Oh.
actually doing that now, but differently. I'm looking into how can I build a hydro plant? How can I do I can actually build a Tesla coil now. I've already done it. That's what I want to do for my house and throw it outside so I can get the energy from the outside, free energy.
Nice.
Nice.
Because again, that's what I'm doing. I'm concentrating on the shit that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shit doesn't matter.
That's why, like, when people, like, for example, the American government sending money to Ukraine, for example, I'm like, you got a lot of stuff that's going on in your own country, and you don't want to care for your own citizens.
Yeah, I know. But if you extra girl and Mark, if you have a chance, I don't know if you watch or listen to Tim Pool at all, but Tim Pool had Matt Gaetz on, and he lays out exactly what the 20 congressmen did to stop this going on, and all the things they got, all the things that, because again, they said no more bills like this omnibus bill, because that's how the bills had. This Pelosi was an iron fist over the last 2 years, and whenever she was in control, it would be like, you got to sign the bill. You have to sign the bill so you know what's in the bill. All that bullshit, and we let it happen because again, that's the fight we need. We have to stop that. Forget about that. But the thing is that they throw out those little things. They throw out the Jennifer Lawrence interview purposely again, they know already what ticks us off. They put it out there on purpose. They want to do it. They put Velvet for a purpose. It's basically they know we're fucking pissed. They know we're pissed. But what they'll do is they'll throw out Velma. And then like dogs, we go after Velma instead. We're not concentrating we're not on the path of getting society back on track. We get sidetracked. Don't get sidetracked.
Swag the dog, the movie.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm just saying, Jim, marriage for you is a wag the dog. They're doing that. They're teasing with that, and that's all you're concentrating on. Forget that.
I'm not only concentrating on that. I was just bringing it up because Mark brought it up. That's all.
I know. But basically, just concentrate on the path. Goodness.
Well, I was just talking because Mark talked about it. That's all.
I know.
No, I mean, like, I love a good debate like this. So don't feel like this is like derailing. Trust me, Poor Choices is off the rails all the time.
Oh my God. And again, if I'm on streams too with guys all, and then we discussed. I've had arguments. I've been not kicked off, but muted on streams for arguing. But it's fine. That's what we do. We argue about good stuff, but it's all like.
But it's now we're getting a perspective.
Yeah.
On the nuclear deal, I know that France is further along on how to recycle the clean energy versus us because we kept going off again, on researching nuclear energy because of executive orders between the Republican and the Democrat presidents bouncing between it.
Yeah, there's nothing to engineer. Japan has it. France has it. We can do it right now. You can build the damn thing. We know where to put. And the waste is so minimal. And
Yeah.
with fusion coming out with thorium as well, thorium reactors also new technologies in phase 5 of nuclear power plants. A lot could going on. We could be doing this, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm concentrating on that path. I'm doing my own thing and then helping that path.
I do have a question. I remember about 3 years ago, seeing something about a energy deal taking carbon from the air and doing something to create energy from it. Was that? I remember seeing it on Vice. I just don't know if that was real or some BS.
Taking carbon energy, or just carbon.
The thing Ian Crossland talks all the time on Timpu.
But you can actually pull you can pull electricity out of the air very easily. That's
stupid. Drawing carbon out of the air.
Carbon no.
Because of course you can draw the energy directly, and the carbon isn't a problem. On the contrary, but that's another story.
Gotcha. I just remember seeing it on Vice News before Ian Crossland says it on.
Right.
Yeah, the graphene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drawing the
and the thing is, it's kind of funny because again, I thank Gary again because Gary brought up the fact that Ancient Apocalypse, which made me research Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, which made me look into electrical power, Tesla, and then design my own, help me to start designing stuff. I've been doing things on since Thanksgiving, designing a hydro plan, how I'm going to build this out, how I'm going to build my house, all natural materials. Because again, I'm a conservative. But I grew up in Texas. I love to hunt. I love gardening. I want to build a nice little a greenhouse and stuff and have chickens and stuff like that. Because you're hearing all these things and we're all talking about it. That's positive stuff. Hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? Let's think positively,
Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting. So I went to Vietnam couple years ago, and a lot of my family who are poor, they had animals to get all the food and stuff, and we're supposed to be those newer First Nation, no,
civilized,
civilized
natives,
but we're going back to that now. People are wanting to do these things. They didn't want to farm, they didn't want to garden, but now we're getting back to that. So I think that's kind of interesting to see society kind of going back to its grassroots, make our own food, because now it's too diluted with all these pesticides and inorganic compounds, and we just don't trust government anymore.
Did you hang out with your grandparents at all, both of you? Did you hang out with your grandparents?
Yep.
Not a lot. My grandparents,
mostly. My grandmother on my father's side, but my grandfather.
Because again, I'm older than you all, basically. So I'll be 55 in March. But when I grew up, I would spend time with my grandparents on weekends. That would be my treat to go spend the weekend with them. And we live in the same city, but we're across big way.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandparents made their own food. They had lemon trees, pecan trees, and fruiting trees, and they would make the pies in their own house, in their property. Get out there, and I'd help them do the nuts. And the food my grandmother made, she did canning. She knew how to do this, and taught my mother. And then I went to my mother and said, "Mom, teach me this." So I learned how to do these things. I knew that was a skill I needed to do, no matter what. It's not a woman's job. I want to feed myself. I'll take care of myself. I'm going to do these things. You got to do that. You learn skills that are worth something to somebody.
Yeah, survival skills.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I really like camping. I feel like I'm learning to be out in the wild.
Okay. What kind of camping do you do? Do you have the tent and then you have to bucket and stuff? Or
dig a hole maybe for the other stuff. But
Okay,
you can
okay,
just
okay.
Go to the bathroom right there.
Good. No. I'm just saying it's real camping. Good.
Yeah,
That's-
but I've done every types. There's the glamping, very nice car camping, with the toilets, proper toilets, and water coming out through a faucet. But I've
Okay.
also done backpacking where you carry the tent, you get the water from wherever, filter it, or put a tablet in. You have
Do
your
both.
little gas stove. It's I mean, I'm not hunting. That's the only thing. That's maybe the last
That's
piece.
the next step, honey.
But yeah, I got to get back into my fitness to be able to get to that point. Because I've heard the podcast with Rogan where he was talking about how when he went hunting with a bow and arrow, how you got to be like peak fitness, because you have to always be ready, and holding that bow and arrow at the ready is actually a lot of energy. Plus, of course, like running around the forest, trying to be quiet, and I don't know what else he does.
I
but
own 2
yeah.
American firearms, and those are the ones that I am able to hunt with. I have a Savage 10TR 308 bolt action and a Winchester shotgun.
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm going on a big hike in the summer to Mont de Blanc. I don't know if you've heard of it, Holocron.
Yeah.
Or I guess Ruben knows. It's hopefully going to test me, because it's been almost 4 years at that point that I've been on a big hiking trip.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to prepare for
Right
it.
when
You
we
gotta
first
prepare
got
for
together.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh my God. I'm excited to see glaciers again. I thought my last time was going to be the last time. So I think
Hey,
that's
no,
really cool.
I've been saying for a while that I'd love to go to Alaska.
We're
do that
definitely going to
someday.
Alaska, but like on a hiking trip, because when you hike up the mountain and you see those glaciers and you drink the water from the glaciers, it's like, hearing that crack when the ice breaks is so cool.
Here's something you should know also: when you come to Texas, bring your bathing suit too. If it's the summertime, the area north between Austin and San Antonio is very beautiful. Hill country, spring water. It's very, very. It's relaxing. It's just a nice area to visit, and a lot of camping and stuff. A lot of parking to camp. A lot of things to do.
And it's great to go to, was it the German place? The German.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Cedarburg?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the not there, but I was thinking about the little. It starts with an F, doesn't it?
Fredericksburg.
Fredericksburg. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
About to be asleep, but yeah, Fredericksburg, great place for German food. In Germany.
Oh yeah. There's nothing better than going out there, either eating German food or going for a nice barbecue after you had a nice day of sun in Texas. It's very nice in that area.
Yeah. What was it called? Some of the German food that I love is or was it the meat that's wrapped in a pickle? You know what I'm talking about?
Wrapped in a pickle.
Starts with a R.
Wouldn't it be easier to?
Holocron, please let us know. What's meat wrapped in a pickle?
I don't know.
Meat wrapped
I don't know.
Yeah.
pickle.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know spitzel and
Yes.
strudels. Yes, desserts.
Well.
Rouladen? German rouladen?
Yes.
Rouladen.
Rouladen.
Oh, sorry, I
Rouladen.
said it wrong.
Oh, it's all good.
It's French.
Rouladen. It's
Oh.
well. What's funny is they always serve it in German restaurants down here.
Oh.
I want to try this now. Oh. One
Well,
day.
rouladen, you can tell right
grandmother
away. Again, that's etymology. Rouladen, that would be French.
Oh.
Well, again, I don't know. I guess I read dictionaries and I see words. Oh, okay. I know where I can see the etymology in a word based upon what it is. So
Right. But it might be developed in that space between France and Germany.
Yes, exactly, and that's the thing. That's the other thing too. You see all those things too. That's why I love history. I love reading books, and you find out why certain foods are certain ways, or why certain traditions are done a certain way, and you see it that way. And that's where you can get back and have some empathy for going, okay, now I understand where this is coming from. This tradition comes from this, because again, Mark was right. Going back to that one thing, things, the contents of the universe or Earth stay the same. It just modulates all the time, and modulation changes. Things change, they evolve. We
Like a
are
kaleidoscope.
different people than they were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and
Mhm.
we're always going to change. And again, it's
that's
the
why I
path we
think-
take in life.
When people are like, we're gonna erase history, I'm like, no, we gotta learn
No,
from it.
don't. I also don't think that is a good idea.
I also think when people put not only our generation at fault, a generation at fault for previous generations, but like erasing history so they won't learn from it, it's kind of bad. And putting our values based on those people back then, I mean, it kind of sucks. For example, the slaves. No one thinks slaves are good, right?
Right.
At least I don't think so.
But
Well,
unfortunately,
like, that is coming from the words
yeah.
of a lady who's never had slaves. They're awesome.
right.
Well,
But
I mean, there's
unfortunately,
of course, there's advantages of having, people do stuff for
Yeah,
you.
dude,
I
people
mean,
do
like,
shit for you.
and
That's
not
what I'm
paying them if you're the one owning them. But like, we can all say as a global perspective that the people that had the slaves and treated those types of people as lesser beings, that's not a good thing. But we can learn from that, right?
I want to make it clear
Right.
I was very ironically supporting slavery just then. Not
Okay.
actually.
Aw.
it's fine. You know that, Jesus. But
Lefties, if you cancel me for this, I'm going to say that you canceled me for supporting gay marriage.
yeah, basically, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be very specific about which words I use to describe the stream on which I got canceled.
Oh my goodness.
It's 4D chess.
Like
move right
I just
there.
hate that they were erasing history and changing it, and like why do all the white people have to be wrong, like the ones that weren't even born during that time or alive during that time get persecuted for it, I hate that because
I
Go
don't
ahead.
think that history, erasing history, is that much of a problem, honestly. Not because history is built always. History is is the art of writing history, writing a narrative, and in the best ways, in the best cases, is done to elevate that which is good, if you will, in service of God. And what is done now is writing history, if you will, to hide God. And the events that have been written down aren't obviously, and you can see it wonderfully now, aren't what we think they are. They have always been framed.
biased.
Yeah.
Not only biased, but heavily framed, such as we see such a little picture of
Yeah, it's not working with all the information. I was gonna say, I think it's a
Not
lack
at
of
all.
info he's getting.
far from fractions of the whole picture. So that yeah, but it's something that always happens, and it's the culture again is the important thing that has to be preserved in a way, or rebuilt, so that the building of history again can be good. It's always done. We can prevent this kind of framing. This is inherent in how we write down things, because the human memory is relatively short. After 100
Oh, yeah.
years, all are dead. Basically, every one of us will be dead in 100 years. And what is of more persistence is the legend, mythology, which has over a large part of history been the much more reliant medium of information, that which we learn in the family, what is told from generation to generation, passed down. That is legend, that is mythology, that which actually happened as it was witnessed, so that it was passed down through the generations. And the writing can be centralized, can be controlled by the few, but what we tell each other, this is not as easy to control. So this is actually the more reliant form.
Interesting. I like that because it kind of brings into this perspective the whole idea of those legends, like especially back. The Europes have a lot of legends. You know, you got your mythology from different areas of the world and Egyptian mythology, and it's interesting to see how even those separate areas are tied together about certain stories, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And like the whole idea of the flood, for example, having watching Graham Nolan's, or not Nolan, sorry, Hancock's.
Graham
Hancock, yeah.
Wrong Graham. Kind of mention it in their stories, all
Yeah.
different areas.
Right, all around the world are stories
Yeah.
of floods, right?
It's very interesting because.
But yeah, I want to. I'm actually, like I said, I'm gonna want to do. I pique my attention. I'm actually gonna do the investigation. I'm gonna find out. I've actually found out more stuff, where I'm finding more and more evidence that yes, it's happened before. We've had other civilizations. We've had more advanced civilization in the past, in the way past, longer than you think.
Modern humans are on the face of the planet, as far as we know, at least 400,000 years. And it has taken us from the Dark Middle Ages to the moon in 500 years.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys played the first few Assassin's Creed games? Like anything before Assassin's Creed 3 or up to Assassin's Creed 3?
Never.
So that is
Yeah.
what the Assassin's Creed
Played.
games were about.
Really?
Until they decided to just make basically remove the persistent storyline almost entirely and just make it, oh yeah, this one's in Greece now. And
Interesting.
it was because the idea was that you could go into your ancestors' memories via this technology that had been developed. And the reason they were doing that is in order to find artifacts from this ancient civilization, essentially. That was the basis for effectively all modern religion. It's why very famously at the end of Assassin's Creed 2, there's a boss fight against the because it's Rodrigo Borgia, famously one of the most corrupt popes of all time.
That's what they have.
They try to do things like tie history in. It's like, okay, you have corrupt pope, therefore let's go to Renaissance Italy and have you play as an Italian guy with Leonardo da Vinci as like your Q, like he's the guy who makes your gadgets, which is that's wonderful.
Nice.
And then Rodrigo Borgia,
but
who's
it's not wrong.
The gangster pope is the villain, and I mean that I think would be, if you're gonna have as much as in a bubble, you could say boss fight against the pope. That sounds like it's kind of against the religion. It's like, not a lot of Catholics are fans of Rodrigo Borgia. Like he was famously kind of the worst pope, like the one that was like, hey, I can turn this into my own private mafia.
It was
bad. It was bad.
How Pope Benedict looked exactly like Palpatine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh God.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, it was sad when John Paul II died. I remember that because I'm Catholic. I grew up Catholic, so I remember having I would always see pictures of John Paul II. He always looked like such a happy guy that loved everybody, and it made it kind of like, that's the guy who leads our whole religion. That's kind of cool.
John Paul
and then Benedict comes in. He's got the
himself.
dark shadows, and he's like, I am going to pardon the pedophiles. It's like, what? No, don't. Just get them out. We don't want them associated with us. They're the ones that make other people make fun of our religion. Get them out.
Yeah, there's some evidence of not evidence. There is some conjecture that I have regarding the whole we had an advanced civilization over 56 million years ago on the planet.
I mean, I don't think it's a done deal, but I think at the same time it's silly to ignore evidence if there is evidence. I think the evidence should be looked into, and it's like, oh, this evidence that we thought might have been this is actually this. I think the thing that made the ancient apocalypse show so fascinating were the official stories. It's like there's Hancock's story that you could say, oh, well, he's got that crazy story about Atlantis or aliens or ancient civilizations or stuff. And it's like, well, what's the other story? Well, we don't know exactly, so we're not it's settled though. So don't look into it, but we don't know. And I'm like, what? How is that your position as the people who are supposed to be the experts? When you want to be like, well, take this information and look into it, and then we'll tell you what it actually is. But it's probably not Atlantis, dude. That could be your answer. I'd be fine with that. But
Yeah,
I
my
hate to be like,
conjecture.
well,
Sorry.
the true story is we don't know, and that's the way it's going to stay. It's like, wait. Huh?
Well, I say that the
Why?
real story is much deeper in the fact that it could be a conspiracy in the sense that tinfoil hat theory, of course,
Yeah, fair enough.
and is the fact that the religions are set up a certain way. They're the winners. They're the ones that wrote everything. The real history is hidden away. The story that we've been told is wrong. That's what's going on. And the fact that if they say don't dig anymore, because if they dig, then they will prove that everything that's been history as we've known it has been wrong for the last 10,000 years.
At least, I would
Yes,
say,
which is true. I believe. I think
much longer
again,
because you can't expect the modern human on be on the face of the planet seriously for
Right.
400,000 years, and only once reach the pinnacle, the perceived pinnacle, right? We are on now. This has probably happened loads of times.
Yeah,
Probably
6 times they say that's the theory. It's happened 6 times
very
already.
least. I'd say.
Yeah. And the thing is that the one thing now that's really gotten people irked up is the fact that the pole is moving in the magnetic shield. In some places is very wobbly and it may switch, and people don't know if the poles switch, they switch. That's going to happen. The poles will switch. All GPS will have to change immediately when it happens.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something I learned when I was younger, like that the pole is never actually at the pole. Like when you're using your compass, north changes all the time.
But it's drifting faster and faster, and they don't know why. But they say it's because the shift is coming.
And more importantly, the South Pole drifts too, and they move towards each other. And on the other side of the planet is east of the coast of South America, in front of Brazil. There's the hole basically where the magnetic field is very weak.
Yes.
But of course, what happens if you move the poles away from both poles move towards each other on the other side of the planet, so the field strength on the other side goes down. Right.
Yeah, and the other thing to remember, I did send this to Gary, Garrett, and Adam a couple of weeks ago. They have a satellite that can track the gravity around the Earth, and there are gravity anomalies where the gravity is much stronger and weaker.
Oh, yeah.
And those and here's where the correlation is. The places where it's the weakest, the strongest you see in red on the satellite image, correlate to locations of where we think Atlantis are and all these other advanced civilizations were. So there's something has to be done with gravity and these locations and ley lines throughout.
I wouldn't be distracted from that Atlantis is one iteration. I'd say it's probably Atlantis is basically meaning fatherland.
Right.
And
yeah, I didn't mean hung up on Atlantis. I mean, whatever it was in the past. There were more than
because
one.
I wanted to get to. I believe it's something that always every age of the Earth there is one Atlantis and there is another pole, the female equivalent.
Yes.
What Ata Land is basically old German, Germanic.
Does the female equivalent look like that girl from the film Atlantis?
And you may be surprised now. The complement is mother realm. And it is Amaricha. You live in America. You live in the mother realm. And this is the complement. So there are always two poles, right? And they have a, if you will, a corresponding nation idea. Like we have had Russia, Rotland, Redland, and America on the other side. You have plus and minus, male and female. This is always the same. They were both big empires and stretch around the world. Of course, there are centers, and probably there's the last center may have been in Africa, the Eye of Africa, may have been the last center of Atlantis, but it's always the same, if you will, story. Every age of the Earth, we have one Atlantis and we have one America.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's a land also, the lost continent of Mu. It was in the
Yeah.
Pacific, and it's probably out there still. Because again, all of the like, how did these people end up in Polynesia? End up on islands that have thousands and thousands of miles of ocean? How did people just show up in the middle of the ocean? It collapsed again through the whole displacement of Earth and all that stuff. It happens. It's great catastrophes happen like that, but it's been, it's fun.
Mhm. Successful pirate that sunk in minutes after a big earthquake in 1692. Maybe. I'd have to do more research into this. Maybe there should be a Netflix special about this. It'd be very interesting.
I mean, this is all making me think we got to watch Treasure Planet.
Is that a movie?
Well, because we watched Atlantis recently, and Treasure Planet. Watching Atlantis without watching Treasure Planet feels weird to me. Back when Disney was making good
I
things.
have
That's
one
so
last
weird.
question, Xray girl. One last big question here.
Okay.
What game can you take Mark at? Take him down at?
Oh, I can answer.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You know, like, no, honey, can you answer? Do you know, or are you gonna
Well,
have
the
to think for a
Necrodancer
second?
and the VR game.
Yeah, Beat Saber.
What's it called? Beat
That's
Saber.
what I was gonna say.
And
Beat
DDR.
Saber.
I can always
She's
take him.
insane at Beat Saber. Like,
Maybe I should play Beat
it
Saber
kills
today.
me that she hasn't. Honey, you should really try to use my setup one day, like in here.
Oh, I gotta
And,
clean up your room though.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I would say your best bet would be using the desktop setup, facing that way for the camera, and then just set up the camera however you want. But all you'd have to really do is, make the back of the couch looks okay for you, because the only other thing in the background would be my TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Maybe one
looking
day.
at you, honey. No one cares about
real
my
gamer.
stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, it's almost at the 2 hour. This flew by so quickly. We got through a lot of topics too. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for joining me for this member stream. Yeah, usually these are supposed to be at the first Saturday, but I was sick. So next time it'll be next Saturday. And I'm actually going to put a poll up. Like if you guys wanted this at a different time, I don't know. 9 o'clock seemed to work for at least you guys. And thank you, Jim, for staying awake for this.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the time changes.
Try to crash now, but
Yeah, you're all talked out, worked out.
there was a cartoon deal that you made me think about, Mark. Plant Bob. What am I thinking about?
Plant Bob.
Ah, Planet
Oh, is
Bob.
VeggieTales?
No, Titan something. It has Matt Damon as the voice for the cartoon character.
Oh, yeah. Wait, isn't that Treasure Planet?
No.
Oh no, Titan AE.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry,
That was
I
Bob.
do get those mixed up in my brain sometimes because that was the same era. It was the era where we were getting a lot of 2D animated movies that were directed at like late teens, young adults without a musical aspect. And that was kind of the big thing because it used to be the thing that just if there was an 2D animated movie, there better be some fucking singing in it. And I never quite understood that. And but yeah, it was Titan AE, Treasure Planet, Atlantis, and they were all really basically they're American anime, effectively. Like they're the
Right.
beginnings of what
Yeah.
would eventually become things like well, I guess Castlevania, for example, even though it's based on a Japanese property, it's an American studio.
But
To a much less flattering degree, that He-Man show that didn't have He-Man in it that Kevin Smith did. But yeah, that's I guess what that industry became. But I kind of miss when Disney was putting tons of money into like, hey, let's retell Treasure Island, but as like a space opera. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Do more shit like that.
Yep.
I guess yeah. Does anyone want to plug anything if they want to their channels? Where
I
you
do, but I can
film?
go last.
I'm
Or I
just,
mean,
I'm,
before Xray.
no, I'm just putting out videos. I'm trying to get it out daily. I'll start putting out like the foods I'm having, what I'm eating, how I'm trying to take care of myself.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the other big news is, like said on there on Wednesday, a friend of mine who I haven't seen in like 25 years she wants to come down and see me. And again, she's newly single for about a couple months now. I'm single. Whatever, again, whatever. Who knows? See what happens. So she wants to see what's going to go on. So
Fingers crossed.
Let's go.
I know. And again, I put my videos out there because it's my real life. And I basically thought about it, and I told her, I says, you know what? You know, I am dealing with a lot of problems right now, but I have my head, I have my heart. I just need my body to move, and be nice to have somebody to help support me in that stuff. And
Yeah.
you know,
And I mean, the mind is the biggest thing when you're working out. Like, yes, you can work out, but like, you can work out like up to like say 60%, and your mind will just start telling you no. So if you got that extra push,
Right.
whatever it
You have to
is.
work out your mind first.
and I told her, I said, all I need is I need your help to work out. All you need to do
Yeah.
is just run in front of me. I'll just run behind you.
Yeah,
I'll just
Love
chase
it, love
you
it.
all day.
Right. If you
Love
haven't trained your mind to get up to go to the training, then
Yeah,
you
that's
won't.
half the battle.
And the good thing is
assume
she
that
has
it's
German
irrelevant to
heritage.
suggest
She has
music
German
to you,
heritage
right,
in her
Ruben?
house.
Oh, she's German girl.
I know.
Love that. I love that. All right. Anyone else want to plug anything, Jim?
No, I don't have anything yet. I'm thinking
You
about
got like a
making
Twitter that you
channel.
want people to follow you on?
Yeah, Jay lurks, but I don't really do much with it.
Honestly, like Twitter, I find it's been real fun. There's been a lot of good memes on Twitter lately, and not a lot of people getting kicked off, except for Shoe on Head. If you guys know Shoe on Head, she's off Twitter right now because she had a Patreon tier that was $50,000 a month to silence me, and someone paid it.
What?
Yeah. And
Guys,
I
I
like,
should do
I mean,
that.
so she's like, yeah. So she's deleting her Twitter until that like person cancels the $50,000 a month donation, and I'm just like, yeah, well,
50,000.
if you put it on the table, you better be ready to play when someone calls. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah. So good for Shoe.
I mean, dang, girl. Okay. Oh my gosh, Holocron. Anything you
Yeah.
want to plug, or words of wisdom, or anything?
You can follow me on Twitter, Fox Holocron. Right.
Nice. Thank you. Mark?
So I'm gonna start streaming on Rumble right now, and I was actually gonna leave it up to you guys. Should I play Spider-Man or Persona 5? I'm playing on PC. Spider-Man, I'm playing just mostly as research because Spider-Man 2 is coming out in the fall, so I kind of want to, refresh it, make sure the story's fresh in my head. And Persona 5, I never finished in 2017 when it first came out, and I've been playing through on PC, and now I'm beyond where I originally stopped. So it's all new. It's a cool Japanese role-playing game with really good acid jazz music, Ruben. In fact, I think that should probably be your...
okay.
Or you know what? Even if you're gonna vote for Spider-Man, just watch one of my Persona 5 streams. Like one of the bots. They're
Which one's giving you more joy right now?
I don't know. Like this is the thing. They're different because Spider-Man's
Yes.
it's a Twitch reflex game where like there's a combat system. You're swinging around the city, and it's flashy in a very large scale way. Whereas Persona is like a really detailed like manga that you're reading while like you're playing a Japanese role-playing game with really, really good English voice acting actually. So like it's a solid kind of almost like teen drama because you're high school students who the premise is kind of like Inception mixed with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because effectively, what you do is you and this team of high school students that your party are basically a team of superheroes who go into people's brains and steal their ego or their ego's treasure, and that makes them have a change of heart for the crimes that they've been doing, and they end up turning themselves into the police. So it's like they fight crime by getting bad guys to feel bad by going into their brains and having turn-based combat inside a heist scenario.
Damn, that's cool.
With a
It's
really, really good
That's
music.
innovative. That's innovative. Because again, I actually said it in the stream earlier. People have to have more empathy, which is true in a way.
Mm-hmm. The world.
Yeah,
would
but
be a better
anyway, if
place.
anyone here has a vote, I really just can't decide.
Spider-Man.
That's one for Spider-Man, 2 for Spider-Man,
I was thinking of the Persona.
1 for Persona.
Oh, there we go. Chat, help us out.
Well, unless Holocron votes Spider-Man, then
I make a tier of $50,000. Who wants me to go for that?
$50,000 to slide. Hey, I'll go away forever
go.
if
We
you guys
got,
are paying me 50 grand a month.
Oh dear lord.
Tara's voting Spider-Man.
Okay, so I guess
Anthony's voting
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
wins. Okay,
So,
Spider-Man wins.
just do your research. You have a due date for that, whereas Persona, you don't. You just play at your leisure.
I mean, but the due date's in like October or November.
Oh,
so I got
that was
time.
soon.
I'm gonna because I want to play Miles Morales again before it too, and I don't even have Miles Morales right now, at least the PC version, which is the one I want to play. So I just have it on my Steam wish list. I'm gonna find a good sale at some point during the year and probably play it in the summer. And then
Thank you.
couple
Chad.
Spider-Man games a year, and then maybe make a quick video on
There you
the
go.
new one.
Spider-Man in the morning, Persona at night.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Just
looks
do
like
both.
what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was what I was going to do regardless, but thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna be on Rumble too. I'm gonna stream for maybe 2 hours and then go to bed. That's it. Nothing else. Oh, and I have a shirt, flagranttriggers.com. I mean, I love Flagrant. He's awesome. FNT jacket at some point. But I'll show you guys.
Yeah, that Letterman jacket looked really cool.
Yeah, the Force is not female. If anything, the Force is non-binary. I'm just saying.
The Force is genderless.
It's genderless.
Basically, that's what it is. Yeah,
It's the energy that binds us all. It is not a gendered
So there's
thing.
no gender to it, but I thought it was funny. This is I designed it after the Kathleen Kennedy shirts that said the Force is female. But anyway, so you can go to flagranttriggers.com and get that shirt if you want. Shield Wall, you came in at the end. I'm sorry.
Just a quick question on that. The Letterman jacket.
Yes.
Does it have any wool on it?
I would just tag myself and Flagrant on Twitter.
Okay.
And then I'll follow up with him if he hasn't gotten back to you, okay? Because I don't know the materials, to be honest.
He and I are
I'm
actually
allergic to wool.
Dang, that sucks.
I'm sure Cam would know. Like, I mean,
he should know. I don't know.
Okay, well, he and I are actually working on maybe selling the independent film that I made in 2010 because I have a whole bunch of copies of it, but they're kind of collecting dust here and make kind of a retroactive Iron Age thing. Be like, hey, yeah, I made this thing.
That's what we need to do. Have it like a what do you call it? A little film festival. Somewhere.
Yeah, sure. I should maybe use one of the DVDs and use some modern software to recapture it because actually my movie is on YouTube. It kind of looks like shit on YouTube because I captured it in 2010.
Hi Tim, I feel so bad. We were saying bye.
I know. I saw it late.
Okay.
Tito.
Welcome, Tim. Do you have anything you want to plug? Your Twitter. Wise words.
Tell Mark to play more PlayStation.
Well, I mean, I'm about
him a
to
long
play.
time ago as a friend, and every time he's on, I'm like,
I actually blame Xray Girl. I don't have PlayStation Plus right now, as I don't really play.
Oh, there you are.
PlayStation
I didn't even see you, Mark. Sorry. Shit.
Yeah, I'm here.
I know. Well, you're PC Elite, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm using a scuffed DualSense while playing Spider-Man by Insomniac. So like it's on.
I still got
PC,
PlayStation 4.
Well, I am playing on PC because I'm streaming, but it's a PlayStation. It was a PlayStation exclusive game. It's the Insomniac Spider-Man that I'm replaying because Spider-Man 2 is coming out. That I will be playing on PS5 when it does come out. In addition to Final Fantasy 16, so Xray Girl might actually use her PS5 that's sitting next to her that I don't think.
I still can't find the PlayStation 5, so.
Really? They seem to be easier to track down now. I'm even seeing them in
apparently the
stores
stocks are actually better, so they said that there should be a rarity, but I don't know. It depends on where you live, I suppose.
Well, I just had to buy a brand new TV because my last one just kind of crapped out.
Sucks, but that looks good. Looks good.
now. Mom's calling.
Yeah. But anyways, I have to go pee, and I kind of want to not pee myself.
Well, it was great to show up for a little while.
Just for Tim though, Tim, what's your PlayStation handle though, just so I can make sure that I've accepted you?
Drop it in the
Breather Resist.
Breather Resist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
cool.
still shows that we're friends on here. It just
Oh, okay,
says like,
then I
Mark
guess-
has not
I
been
guess I did
online in
accept
over
it.
4 months.
Well, I mean, I just haven't. There's no PlayStation multiplayer game that I actively play, so it kind of just
Right.
became a waste of money to have PlayStation Plus, and my renewal came up, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, if there's a PlayStation multiplayer game that doesn't have crossplay that I can't just play from PC and play, then I'll renew it. But right now, it kind of doesn't make sense. The free games are good, and I know that they have their kind of like Game Pass like service thing going on. So I'm not against PlayStation Plus as a thing. I just don't have it right now, just because Xray Girl and I are trying to save money. We upgraded our setups, but now we're doing our
no
taxes.
worries, no
and we're
worries.
like, belt tightening time.
Being responsible.
Yeah.
So are you guys escaping Canada and coming to the US, or?
Yeah, we're definitely pretty far away from that financially, but hopefully one day. I mean, like if we ever get to the level where we can comfortably do it, I think we'd both love to.
Yeah.
One day.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, thank you guys. We're gonna end the stream, but thank you for joining everyone on the panel and in chat.
Sorry, I was late.
If you guys, no, it's all good. If you guys want to become members, this does happen every Saturday. We'll figure out a time, but right now it's at 9 o'clock Eastern, and yeah. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye, chat.
Have a wonderful day. Get some good sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, honey.